She didn't come in the morning, when the air was cool and the village was alive with the voices of neighbors. When the other women gathered at the well, laughed, talked, shared the news and the burdens of their day, she came alone, at noon, the hottest hour when the world stood still under the weight of the sun. The Bible doesn't tell us her full story, but it gives us enough to understand her life. Every corner of this room tells a story. Every object is a witness to a path she never intended to walk alone. 5 relationships, 5 broken stories, 5 times her world had been built and then shattered, each one leaving a mark. Not chosen out of strength, but shaped by survival. In a culture where women had little control, her life may have been decided for her. What does she see when she looks at herself? Does she see a woman of value, or a woman defined by her mistakes? To understand the gravity of what was about to happen, we must understand the world she lived in. Samaria was a land of division. The rift between Jews and Samaritans was deep, ancient and bitter. They did not share meals, they did not share stories, and they certainly did not share water. For centuries, the mountains of Samaria stood as a barrier, a place where even the common ground of faith was a battlefield of traditions. She didn't just carry water. That's why she came at noon. The walk to Jacob's well was long. In the heat of the day, it was a penance, a price she was willing to pay for peace, a silence that was better than their noise. Every step was a reminder of her isolation, every drop of sweat a testament to her rejection. The well was her destination, but loneliness was her companion. But on this day, her isolation was interrupted. Jesus, tired from the long journey, sat by the well. It was about noon. He was waiting, not just for rest, but for her. A Samaritan woman came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink." "How is it that you, a Jew, ask for a drink from me, a Samaritan woman?" She was shocked, not because he asked for water, but because he spoke to her. A woman, a Samaritan, a stranger. This wasn't normal. Men didn't speak to women like this. Jews didn't speak to Samaritans. He had crossed every boundary, social, cultural, and moral, to find her. If you knew the gift of God, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. He was offering her something she didn't even know existed, a grace that flowed from a source she could not see. He wasn't talking about the well. He was talking about her life. He saw the dryness of her soul. He saw the parched land of her heart. And he was offering the rain, a refreshment that reached the core of her identity. "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst." She still thought physically. She thought of the convenience of not having to walk this path anymore. She thought of a relief from the labor of her life. But he was speaking, spiritually, to her deepest need. Go, call your husband. And in that moment the conversation shifted from the well to the reality of her life. The mask she had worn for years began to slip. The pretense was over. I have no husband. A simple truth, and yet a confession of everything she had been trying to hide. An admission of her brokenness in the face of his perfection. I, the one speaking to you, am he. The answer was right in front of her. The one she had been waiting for had found her at a well in the desert. The Messiah was not a distant figure, but a present reality. He saw everything, not just her actions, but her story. She had hidden her heart for so long, and yet here was someone who saw it all and offered only grace. A grace that was as cool and life-giving as the water she sought. A grace that was more real than her shame. It was a new beginning. I know that Messiah is coming, she said, reaching for a hope that seemed so far away. A promise from the prophets that she had almost forgotten in the struggle of her days. I, the one speaking to you, am he. In that moment, she wasn't rejected. She was revealed to herself. The shame was gone, replaced by a light she had never known. The darkness of her past was swallowed by the dawn of her future. The well of her soul was filling up. Then, leaving her water jar, the woman went back to the town, no longer hiding, no longer ashamed of who she was. She had found something better than water. She had found life, and she couldn't keep it to herself. Come, see a man who told me everything I ever did. Her testimony was simple, yet undeniable. A woman transformed by a single encounter. The outcast had become the evangelist. The one who fled the village was now leading it to the truth. The woman who avoided everyone became the one who told everyone. Because when truth meets grace, everything changes forever. The well of Jacob would never be the same. The village would never be the same. She would never be the same. What about you? What are you still carrying through the heat of your day? What jar are you holding on to out of habit or fear? What weights are keeping you from the water you truly need? Are you ready to leave your jar at the well? Are you ready to be seen, to be known, and to be loved? The living water is waiting for you just as he waited for her. At the well, in the noon of your soul, he is calling you. The story of the woman at the well is a story for every one of us. It is a story of being found when we are lost, of being known when we are hidden, and of being loved when we feel unlovable. May you find your way to the well. May you hear the voice that calls you by name, and may you leave your jar behind to run toward the life that truly satisfies. For the thirsty, there is a fountain. For the weary, there is rest. For the hidden, there is light. The story you didn't hear is now a story you can live.